I hope you enjoyed the story. I just would like to remind you that this is our last craft, and I'd like to thank you for the last 8 weeks. I really enjoyed working with you and your children. I will be having another session. It will be starting the week of January 11th, and I will be sending out more information in the next few weeks. So I hope you'll sign up again. I will also be sending out a survey, and I would really appreciate it if you could fill it out. Thank you. So this week, we are going to be making handprint turkeys. You can make yours one of 2 ways. You can make it with the googly-eyed face, or you could use your child's picture. Regardless of the way you choose, you're going to follow the instructions in the video. The only difference is for your child's picture, you will use that and you will cut out a small beak and a small gobbler. That's the only difference. From your art box, you are going to need a Sharpie, your Elmer's glue, a sponge paintbrush, a pencil, scissors, and if you choose to use your child's picture in this craft, your child's picture. You also want to have wipes and paper towels handy because this craft will get a bit messy. From your material bag, you will need your large white paper, your brown paper, your smaller brown paper, your black, yellow, and red construction paper, googly eyes, and your red, yellow, orange, brown, and green paint. The first thing we want to do is take our scissors, our pencil, our large brown paper, our small brown paper, and our white paper out. Next, we're going to push the white paper aside, and we're going to take our pencil and our brown paper, and we're going to make a circle. We don't want it to be too big, but we want it to be if you want to find like maybe the size of the bottom of a coffee can or even a coffee filter, that's probably about the size we want. Probably like that. We're going to do it about that size for this brown one. We're going to make it that size. And now I'm going to make its face, so it can fit in the middle there without being too big. So I'm going to make it approximately that big. So that'll fit right in the middle of its body. And then I'm going to cut them out. Now that I cut my circles out, I want to take my large circle and my pencil, and I want to put it on my white paper in the middle, but I want it towards the bottom of the page. And you want to take your paper and you want it to be the wide way. We don't want it the long way. We want it the wide way. And we're going to take our larger brown circle and we're going to place it in the middle of the page, approximately maybe an inch or so, not even, from the bottom, the middle of this part here. And we're just going to lightly trace with our pencil our brown circle. And then when you remove it, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going to be a guide for us for the moment. So that's what it should look like. Next, we're going to take our paper, our sponge paintbrush, and our paints. And what we're going to do is we're going to paint our hands, and you can make them all the same color if you'd like. I'm going to use each of my colors, and you're going to make 5 handprints, which will be the feathers. And we're going to start here. And because my hands are much bigger than yours or your children's, I had to make a makeshift hand. So I'm going to paint my fake hand. Green. Like I said, you can make it whatever colors you want, whatever pattern you'd like. I'm just going to start with green. And you want to paint the entire hand, palms, fingers, fingertips. Put a little extra on. And then I'm going to take my handprint and I'm going to press it down right at the very outside of my circle. And I'm going to repeat this. I'm just going to fill in my little gap a bit. And I'm going to repeat this with each of my colors all the way around my circle. Now that I made all 5 handprints, I'm going to put this aside so that it can dry. Next, we're going to make the turkey's beak, legs, and gobbler. So we will start with our yellow paper. And I just cut it in half, fold it in half, and you can cut it in half. And then I'm going to just, you can draw it. I'm going to make, if you want to make a beak that opens, you really won't need this if you're going to use your child's face. If you're going to use a child's face, you may want to make a tiny little beak to put on their nose. It's totally up to you. If you're not using your child's face as part of this craft, then you can either make a beak that opens and closes like we did with the peacock, or you can make a flat one-piece beak like we did with the owl. I'm just going to make a one-piece beak. So I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to just draw a triangle. And I'm just going to cut his beak out. Actually making it a little bit bigger than what I drew because I can always trim it and I can make it thinner. So I'm going to put that aside. Next, I'm going to take the rest of my yellow paper, going to fold it in half, and I'm going to draw my turkey's feet. I'm just going to make just like this, his legs and feet. And then I'm going to cut it out. And when I'm done cutting, I should have, oops, I need to cut that in half. 2 feet and his beak. And next I'm going to make his gobbler. So we're going to draw our gobbler and we're going to make it, it's a little different shape. So that's what it's going to look like. And then we're going to cut it out. So that's my gobbler. And I can trim it up and make it smaller if I have to. The next thing I want to do is I want to round the edges on my beak. So I don't want it so pointy. So I made them a little round on both sides. And I'm even going to round the pointy part of my triangle. So it's going to look something like this. So this is how my beak, my legs, and my gobbler will look.